So when they say that atheism doesn't make any positive claims
Well, it doesn't make any positive claims, not unless that atheist happens to be like a hard atheist or Gnostic atheist, whatever you want to call it.
as to, the non-existence of God, and they take some sort of a kind of agnostic position, kind of trying to evade.
Taking an agnostic view on God isn't really evading anything, and it's kind of telling when someone says that it is. I mean, shit, there are agnostic Christians that will admit they don't know for sure whether or not God is real, but they believe he is. They just simply believe without believing they have absolute knowledge. Most Christians believe they do have absolute knowledge, that God is 100% real, there's no way to deny it.
I think it's very important to see that atheism is just as much a knowledge claim as is theism.
Again, it really depends on how you're using that word, and when I looked it up in the dictionary, it's not even defined that way. I suppose it could depend on the dictionary, but what it really sounds like is that William Lane Craig is talking out of his fucking ass again.
Theism is the view that there is a God. Atheism is the view there is no God.
He wouldn't have such an easy time or, easy argument if he actually tried dealing with what most atheists believe and think, rather than what he wants to put on them.
Both of these make a positive assertion to knowledge, and therefore, if you're to believe either one, you need to have some sort of justification. Atheism is not a default position. If there is a default position, it would just be agnosticism. I don't know whether there is a God or there is not a God. So the atheist does also have a burden of proof to bear. He needs to give good arguments for thinking that God does not exist.
No, absolutely not. Atheists don't have the burden of proof unless that atheist is putting forth a positive claim. Unless that atheist is saying there is no God. Like, there is absolutely no God, no way, no how. An atheist does not have the burden of proof. Most atheists, myself included, would describe themselves as agnostic atheists. Agnostic in the way that we don't believe a God exists, and atheist in a way that we have no knowledge that a God exists. And personally, at least the way that I define it, I think those two things go together. I don't believe a God exists because I have no knowledge that a God exists. I have no reason to believe it. And if your answer to that is, go look at the trees, go look outside, who, brings forth consciousness, this and that, absolutely fuck off. Those arguments have been dealt with sufficiently by people a lot smarter than me. For the fucking love of your God, come up with something better.